So a lot of beginners, they might, be wondering, attracting clients, not getting a lot of business, burnout, exhaustion, the speed at which they lash, experiencing irritation. Is it the glue? Is it the tape? Is it my tweezer? But the set comes out droopy, like very sensitive eyes. Like the set looks a little bit asymmetrical or wonky. Their retention is bad.
Oh, that's a big one.
Welcome back to another episode of Glam Gossip by LLBA Podcast. I'm your host, Puja, from LLBA social media team. If you're new here, we are a lash and beauty supply company. Our mission is to help you thrive and flourish in the beauty industry. And today's topic, we are talking about troubleshooting. Yes, we have a very fun and interesting topic today. We are talking all about troubleshooting lash issues for beginners. So we brought on a very lovely guest. I would like to introduce Tam-lynn from the Curvy Mermaid Lash Lounge.
Hi, Puja. Thanks for having me.
Hi. So thank you so much for coming all the way from Barrie, right?
You're welcome. It was a long drive through construction over here.
But you made it. Thank you so much. So we have such a fun topic today. I think it's going to be really interesting. So first of all, can you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself? How you got started, a little bit about your professional background,
Sure.
Your personal life.
I'm an educational assistant. I've been one for 24 years, and I love lashes. In my 40s, I was a fitness competitor, and my favorite part about competing was going to get my makeup done by a professional makeup artist. And when they put the lashes on, I just felt it was a complete package, but I could never duplicate it at home. So back then, I heard there was lash extensions, and I went to my local beautician, and she put them on, and I love them. I love them so much. I started helping other students get certified, so I'd go and get lashes put on by them. And then I met a wonderful lash tech, and I've had her for the past 5 years. And we just got always talking, because lash techs and clients, they always have a bond together, as talking all the time. And I thought, I wonder if I could do what you do. And she said, of course you can. And next thing you know, I got certified as a lash artist, and here I am. Just 1 year in.
Really?
Just
so
1
this
year.
Is like a part-time, like a side hustle currently.
No, I'd like
not to downplay it as a side hustle, but it's not your your 9-to-5 job.
No, I work in the school day, and then at night I'll do a few clients, and then on the weekends I'll do a few clients as well, hoping to build a clientele enough that maybe perhaps I could take it full-time maybe somewhere in the future. I gave myself like a 4-year plan kind of thing. To perfect the craft kind of thing.
Well, I do want to say, I think you have like the cutest logo, cutest brand I think we've ever seen on this podcast. So can I just show this like adorable mug? Look how cute that is. It says the Curvy Mermaid Lash Lounge. That's like adorable. Here, do you want to focus on it? That is so cute. We need one for LLBA. Or we need one for the Glam Gossip podcast.
Or
it'll just be me, a caricature of me as,
all
as
your
a
team
mermaid.
on a mug.
No, it'll just be me. It'll just be my face. So, thank you so much for introducing yourself. And so, how do you mentioned you're kind of a beginner yourself, in a sense. Yes. So you're actually the best person to speak on troubleshooting lash issues for beginners, because you are a beginner.
I would think kids, I'll say kids because I feel like I'm older than everybody else. Students that come out of a beauty school probably already know they're going to be working full time in the business kind of thing. I've never been near any kind of beauty school ever, but I do enjoy what lashes look like on me and what it does to other people. It's been an interesting journey as far as decorating, getting the proper atmosphere for your studio or lounge, having the correct humidity, having the right glues. Do you have the right equipment? Is your stuff hygienic? Are you going to meet, are you accessible? Are you sociable? All those things play into how it all works out in the end kind of thing.
So a lot of beginners, they might, be wondering, okay, I have my cute setup, I got certified, I bought all my tools, all my equipment, and it's like crickets. So they're not getting a lot of clients, they're not getting a lot of business. What do you think could be the reason behind that?
Well, social media plays a huge role into it. Advertising, getting the word of mouth out there. But the biggest thing first is you've got this craft and now you've got to perfect it. Getting models, for instance. At first it was like, oh, I'm going to do free lashes and I know they're going to be lined out the door. It didn't work that way for me. I needed models to help me hone my new craft and nobody would bang on the door kind of thing. So then I talked to a few other people. A great resource for me were lash groups on social media, because you could post a question and somebody would answer it instantly, and that person could be 15 years in the business already. I'm having this problem, what do you think? We'll try this or that. And that was another huge problem. I've gone through so many different products, because what works for somebody else will not work for you just because of the atmosphere that you're in. Could be the humidity factor, could be the heat factor, even the model themselves or the client themselves, oily skin, lack of lash, curly lashes. So it's a huge learning curve, and I found that all the social media platforms, I could throw a question out there and they instantly answer you. So you always had something to go to in order to answer for that kind of thing.
And what about like attracting business, attracting clients? Like, let's say you mentioned like get models first. So once you've got the ball rolling with some models, but you want to get like paid clientele.
And that was a tough part as well, because models, whether it be free or dealio, aren't your target clientele. Lashes are a luxury. They are pricier than other services, and they need to keep going in a cycle.
They're a little bit high maintenance.
That's right. So picking your clientele was tough as well. How do you target that group? How are you going to bring them in? So I'm still working on that because I'm a beginner. Being full-time working as well, I feel I could be working more on my craft. I don't think it's there yet, even adjusting your prices to what you think your work is worth kind of thing. A lot of lash techs believe that it should be only one price, it should be this. I agree to that, but then if you're not up to that standard yet, I think you should be priced accordingly, and hopefully I'll be sought out after. That's my goal, is to people to say, oh, who did your lashes? Oh, Tam from the Curvy Mermaid Lashes did it. Oh, I need to go there. That's what my goal is. Getting clients is, I would say, one of the toughest parts of what my journey has been so far. Just what's your target audience? Your
price accordingly.
Yeah, that's been really tough for me. So I'm not probably the best person to ask for that, because I'm still on that journey.
You are.
I'm still on that journey, just being a beginner. But trying different products, that's been interesting as well, because one product doesn't work in the atmosphere that another product does. And it took a little bit to get there, but you figured it out finally. Under eye pads, foam pads, gel pads, I've got it all, because I've had to try a little bit of everything. Even my bed, I've switched my bed from a bed to a chair kind of thing, because it was all about ergonomics and what fit in my space and what made me feel comfortable in order to isolate and place. So I've gone through that journey as well, just different equipment. Now that I know more in the industry, ooh, look at that light. Ooh, I gotta have that. Or just all kinds of different equipment now. Maybe that lash bed would be better, or maybe I should move to a bigger space so I can get more things in there. So it all comes down to that as well.
And Tam-lynn, you're a very busy lady, right? You said you're a educational assistant. You also do lashes as well in your spare time. So how do you deal with, I'll rephrase that. A lot of lash artists, they deal with, burnout, they deal with exhaustion. What do you think could be the reasoning behind that?
Well,
and how do you manage?
I do get tired sometimes, just because I've worked a full day and then now I've got 2 more. I find it really calming though to lash, so that's probably a benefit for me. But for other people, perhaps maybe scheduling too many people, working too many hours, I guess that like any job that could lead to burnout. But for me, if I've already had a long day at school, I'm lucky. I kind of find it relaxing.
I think because you can kind of turn your brain off in a way.
One extreme to another kind
exactly.
of thing. But in the future, like I would say, taking breaks, maybe scheduling your appointments a little bit farther apart so that you can move around and you're not hunched over kind of thing. Also checking is your body properly aligned? Is your neck, is everything measured kind of thing? That's what I think would attribute to helping without that burnout kind of thing. But scheduling probably be a huge one, just so that you're not overworked and getting burned out quickly.
And we forgot to address the pink elephant in the corner over there. Your cast, so cute. So how did you get that?
Oh, I fell down at work. Just got a skateboard injury. So I'm lashing. Thinking a lash break.
Lash break. Okay, I just wanted to ask that because some people might be like, what happened to your hand? So she's okay.
Yeah,
she'll be lashing
fine.
soon.
I'm back
as normal.
I'll be back at it in September.
So another issue that a lot of beginners might face is the speed at which they lash. Lashing faster is like kind of a hot button topic in the lash world.
As a beginner,
troubleshoot it for us.
I think I'm starting to lash faster only because, once again, practice. So
not enough practice. Basically is slowing you down.
Yes. Isolation, learning how to isolate, having the correct tweezers. For me, the glue, is my glue correct? I'm not great at making fans. I make fans really well, but making them on the spot and wrapping is not my forte currently. I'm working hard on it. ProMades. Hallelujah for ProMades. My LLBA ProMades, I like the loose ones. Just pick them up and put them lick and stick kind of thing. It's all good.
Hashtag not sponsored, but it actually is.
I think ProMades help speed me up, but it would be better if you could correctly wrap a fan onto the lash for better retention in the end. But as a beginner, I'm still using ProMades mostly because I feel more comfortable with it. And I don't want my client lying there for 6 hours waiting for me to make. As I practice and do more, I'm sure I'm going to get faster, but at this moment in time, it's ProMades.
Okay, so...
And they have such a wide variety out there, so it's easy just to have them, and it's quicker. Getting my clients not lying there for 4 hours, they're there for 2.5, if that kind of thing.
Right. So would you say that's the biggest factor to why it might be taking you forever to lash a client, is not using the correct equipment, supplies, tools?
Learning proper technique, how to wrap, how to isolate, correct isolation, correct placement. That all affects everything. And in the end, it's your retention. You want that client to walk out with a beautiful set of lashes that are cost effective to what they're putting into what their look is. I'm a big believer of, I have lashes. You want them to last. You want it done correctly, safely, and hygienically in the end.
And what about some clients who might be experiencing irritation, redness, burning?
That's a big freak out for me, because when you go through, once again, all your social media platforms, that all the lash tech beginner sites and that, what is this? What happened? And somebody will explain to you, well, that's a bit of a underpad burn. How do you avoid that? Well, make sure they're proper placement. Make sure you tape down those little lashes. Make sure they're not on the water line. When they close their eyes, is it comfortable? If they blink a few times, do they move up? Does your client talk too much? Could that be the reason why the pads are riding up?
Oh wow! So how do you like? Our topic today is all about like troubleshooting. So specifically, how do you troubleshoot to figure out what happened?
There's tearing up. There's going to be a reason. Maybe I've taped up too high enough where the eyelids are a little bit open and fumes are getting in. Well, measuring the eye from the iris is one thing, but mapping is really important.
But they have like maybe typical like round or almond shaped eyes, but the set comes out droopy. One of the last questions I have for you is the big one. Retention.
Oh, that's a big one.
Because as you said, there's so many factors, and especially if you're a beginner, you might not know. You can check online, but
yeah. So when I go online and look at all the different troubleshooting aspects, when I'm lashing someone, I continually ask them: are you feeling okay? Do you feel any rubbing? Do you feel any discomfort? Are you tearing up? If there's tearing up, there's going to be a reason. Maybe I've taped up too high enough where the eyelids are a little bit open and fumes are getting in. You just keep asking how that client is at all times. Fluttery eyes, once again, I've had people give me tips on putting coins on eyes and maybe putting a little piece of tape
Coin
down
trick.
just to settle them, kind of thing. And I've tried all those things and they seem to work. Sometimes they do, you just have to tweak things a little bit, but you don't want that client to leave and have any agitation on their eyes whatsoever. So
can you go ahead.
I just try to take everything step by step and always communicating with my client. Are you okay? Because sometimes they fall asleep and they wake up and the pads moved a little bit for whatever reason, or they have oily skin and sometimes the pads don't stick down all the way you would like and they move around a little bit, so then you've got to readjust or retape and start again. Always start again if you have to. It might be a bit of time consuming, but in the long run your client's going to thank you for it because they're not going to have any irritation.
Right. So how do you know if someone's like having an allergic reaction? And how do you know, is it the glue? Is it the tape? Is it,
Well,
my tweezer? No, I'm joking. It's not the tweezer. I know that.
For me, when I have a new client, it's nice for them to come in and maybe do a patch test first, and I set them down, ask them, fill out the consent forms, do you have any allergies and whatnot? Are you allergic to latex? Because I wear rubber gloves, you want to ask all those questions. Are you allergic? Well, the patch test, adding the few lashes that you do, and they come back after 24 hours, that usually is a good sign if there's no irritation, and then you can go forward. Asking if they do have any allergies, using hypoallergenic glue. A lot of things you can do just to troubleshoot all those areas before that client comes in so that they can have a nice, safe, and rewarding experience getting their lashes done.
What if, I think you mentioned like watery eyes. How do you troubleshoot if your client has like very sensitive eyes? Like how can you figure out what is the cause of that?
Well, I usually look at my taping. Perhaps if I wanted the lash line up a little bit higher and I'll tape up the eyelids a little bit more, was their eyes closed all the way? Because you don't want fumes getting in and irritating their eyes. Some people just have watery eyes. Usually put a little lint pad here, tape it down so it just soaks up anything, because you don't want your extensions to get wet that you've already done. But usually just troubleshoot. Go back. How did I tape that? Did I tape it properly? Is the eyelid open up a little bit? So just go back, retrace all your steps, and then go from there, and then ask your client with lots of communication, how are you feeling now? And then monitor it. If it keeps getting watery, then clearly something else is wrong, and then you'll just have to take steps from there. But that's usually what I do.
So just keep calm and carry on.
Well, go back and retrace
Start
your
from
steps.
the beginning.
Yes, and then because you don't want them to be irritated. It's a long time to sit, even if it's for a fill or a full set. Still a long period of time, so you don't want them to be agitated and uncomfortable.
And from an aesthetic perspective, troubleshooting issues with symmetry or just general like aesthetics with the shape, sometimes as a beginner you might notice that the set looks a little bit asymmetrical or wonky, or the shape's not right despite you mapping ahead of time. So what could be the issue that's causing that?
Well, measuring the eye from the iris is one thing, but I usually just map it out. I've been lucky so far. I haven't had a lot of problems with the filling of the eyelashes. It's worked out for me so far, but mapping is really important because you don't want to have the wrong lashes on to make it uneven on both eyes. That's what I think. But I haven't had really too much of a problem with that, so I don't know.
Oh, really?
I just keep mapping, and everybody's liked it so far. But that's something I'll do in the future, is if I have that problem, to make sure I line it all up. But I usually just make sure my mapping is all both working each eye from one eye to the other, so I can keep it all symmetrical and all the same. Even if that client had to leave, is one of my biggest fears in my session. If they have to leave for whatever reason, you want them to have equal lashes on either eye in case they have to come back, kind of thing. I've had a client that had to go pick up a child earlier, and they had to leave because it took me a little bit longer. They had way more natural lashes than I expected, and it was taking me a little bit longer, but because I went from one eye to the other and kept it the same, even on each side, I was able to say, you won't look totally weird when you leave. You can come back and I'll finish you off later, kind of thing.
Okay. And this is kind of related. What about like the client has they have like just regular shaped eyes. I shouldn't say regular, but they have like maybe typical like round or almond shaped eyes, but the set comes out droopy.
Oh, that's a big one. You want to make sure that the diameter and the length of the lash is going to be able to stay on that natural lash. Can that natural lash hold that lash extension? So, going back to where you learned at school, sometimes I even have to explain to the clients, you want this set, but your lashes will not hold it. So that all comes in with the meeting at first and the consultation. But knowing that the lash can hold that, the extension can hold the natural lash is a big one. Because you don't want them to go home and go, oh, my retention sucks. Well, yeah, your retention sucks because it's way too heavy for your natural lash. So you have to look at those aspects as well and make sure you're doing stuff for that healthy lash so that it can stay on until it's ready to shed.
And we'll go to the retention topic in a bit, because I know that's like the big one.
Yeah.
But going back to like the droopy eye topic.
Yes, I just feel that you need to look at that lash. Is it a healthy lash? Yes. Is it a healthy enough lash to hold the extension that they want? So you might have to have that discussion. The 14 millimeters that you would like, I really suggest maybe we go down a few millimeters. Your lashes, I don't feel, won't hold that. So it's also talking with the client as well, because sometimes the client comes in and there's, oh, this is what I want.
They want Kim Kardashian's
lashes.
and
then I'm like, okay, that's not kind of, let's have the discussion. Their eyelashes are doing this, and this is what it's going to hold. So it all goes back to when you went to school. You want to make those lashes healthy. You want to keep those lashes healthy with the extension on them, and you don't want to compromise it.
And what if their eye shape is actually droopy?
Well, then you're going to look at your lash maps, and you're going to have the consultation with them. This would open your eye up more, and give them. I usually just give them examples. This is what, and then try it out. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes they don't like it, and you just say, okay, you know what? We'll switch it up a little bit when you come back, and they're usually pretty cool with that. You keep an open communication with them, or you do a removal and start over again. I haven't had too much experience with that. I've been really lucky so far with people liking...
Well, they like your work?
So far, yeah. So far, they've liked the work. I haven't had to deal with too many... curly eyelashes are probably the most troublesome that I've had to deal with. I had to work really hard, like sweat. As a beginner, curly lashes.
Really?
Yes, and then it goes back to... You go back and ask a few other lash techs, what do you do? Oh, well, you can do a lash lift and tint, and that will straighten the lashes. Well, why didn't I think of that? So there's all these other little troubleshooting aspects that you can use, but you need to ask. You're not going to... I find that it takes a village to build, right? There's so many people that are resourceful out there. I can just ask a question, they'll help me answer it. Then I can make an educated decision as how I'm going to help that client achieve the look that they want.
Okay, so one of the last questions I have for you is the big one. Retention. So, client comes to you, Or maybe a peer who is also a lash artist and they're saying their retention is bad. How do you determine what is the factor? What are the factors that are causing this?
Well, I look at what my other clients have had so far. Are all of them losing their lashes? Asking that person what their aftercare is, educating them on their aftercare. Is there mascara on their lashes? That's a big no-no. Is my humidity correct in my salon? Am I using the correct glue? Did they shower afterwards, or did they not clean their lashes for 2 weeks because with the oil and the breakdown? So I look at my end of it in my lounge. Is my humidity correct? Is my isolation correct? Then I'll look at my other clients and say, oh, well, nobody else has lost any of that. And then I delve into a little bit more. Okay, have you washed them? Are you using proper care? How often do you wash them? Have you been putting mascara on your eyelashes? Are you using an oil-based makeup? Are you remover kind of thing? So I just ask all those questions and then work from there. Maybe using a little bit more primer, or maybe a little bit more bonder afterwards. So after that, it becomes like a little bit experiment. So once again, communication with your client. This is what I'm going to try this time, because they know that you want them to succeed and look beautiful. That's what I do. I just keep the communication open, ask a lot of questions, educate on aftercare so that they have that retention, and then look at my end of it as well as my product. Maybe my glue, I didn't change my glue dots enough.
Right.
All those things. Go from the top again into the bottom and then try to figure it out on their end.
And would you say, like, how quickly can you pretty much figure out why is the retention bad?
Well, usually after when they come back. So in my...
Or what's the most common reason, actually?
I would say aftercare. Aftercare.
Yeah.
And then if it's not aftercare, then I look at my end, my isolation, my glue, my humidity, That's what I would...
That's interesting. So, an aftercare in terms of people not washing their lashes or washing too much, or what is typically the issue there?
I would say properly washing their lashes, because oil does build up. Excess makeup. I've had clients come back in and it takes me like 40 minutes just to get the mascara off their lash extensions.
Oh my God.
Once again, it's aftercare, because people get into a groove, right? They don't realize that
their lashes.
And then I have
disgusting.
other clients that their retention's almost 4 weeks because they take care of it. Sleeping on your face, rubbing your eyes, all those other things they're going to make your retention even worse. So, buying the sleep goggles kind of thing.
Yeah, we actually have those. It looks like a bra on your face.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to protect your lashes.
Yes, because they're an investment and they're
Yes.
a luxury and they make you look beautiful, and there's nothing worse than waking up and having
one of your...
But after you figure it all out, I usually... teaching them how to do aftercare, I have people that could care less, and then I have people that are like right on it. So those people you don't have to be on, but the other ones you do. Even when
Interesting.
I've even had a few clients with the developing blepharitis, which is build up on the eyelids.
Oh my God.
And you have to talk to
I don't
them.
want to know what that is. I think I know what it is.
Yeah, you have to chat it up. Well, listen, you need to clean these up. And it's giving them, each time I do a new set, they get shampoo, a wand, and a cleansing brush. Get on it. There's no excuse. Clean those lashes up.
What's the worst case you've ever seen?
Well, I've only had one client with the starting of it. And then it was gone because I let them know right away. And I gave them a sample.
Have you seen those videos on like YouTube or TikTok of like the infected eye and it looks like a zombie's eye?
I saw those. I don't know
if they're real or not, but some of them are definitely real and they're definitely disturbing.
Yeah.
Makes me want to wash my lashes.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't even have extensions.
Well, that's your eye that you're dealing with. Even when I'm working, gloves on, cleanliness, because these are your eyes. You need to see with them and be pretty and bat your eyelashes. It's
right. I mean,
to me, I just love them so much. I want to take care of them, but I have clients that they just take it for granted and they wonder why their retention isn't great. And then I've got other clients that they come in with almost a full set and only a few missing after a couple of weeks. So that's a good thing. But yeah, I would say education. Look at my end, look at their end, and hopefully, and good retention brings on more clientele.
Right.
Like it's nobody wants to be coming in every 2 weeks. I offer a 3-day window where if I have any problems, you can come back in.
That's great.
Well, being a beginner artist, I think that's reasonable because they're coming in and they know that I'm kind of new and everything, and just I think it's good customer service in the end, just so that they can have that figure out why they lost them, and I'm learning from it, and they're getting a better product. I brought them a better outlook.
Yeah, that's some great tips. And do you have any last words of advice for beginners out there who are just starting off in the lash industry? Tips to become successful?
Practice. I know I say that. I should do it more myself, but the more you practice, the better your craft is going to get. Taking more workshops. There's so many different styles that are coming out. We're just doing the Barbie styles right now. All the Barbie maps are flying all over the place right now. Angel sets, anime sets. Staying on top of what's happening in the industry is huge. And I think that's a great tip to just stay on top of the industry. All the new products that are coming out, new glues that are work in any temperature or humidity. Woohoo! Different tools, different tweezers. You see different things on the internet that people are getting their eyelashes done by robots. You're like, what?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Isolating.
We're going to be out of a job soon.
I know, right? Little isolating tools that they put on the eyelashes so that they isolate you for you better.
But you can't gossip with a robot.
No, that's one thing.
So.
I miss my lash tech. I don't see her that much anymore. And then you have a bond with them.
Absolutely. That's like the best part of getting your lashes done, right?
Yeah, just chatting it up. Maybe not too much, because then your eyes wiggle around.
Don't expose too much.
No, they wouldn't talk too much. Their pads roll around.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, their eyelashes flutter. It's like, stop.
Well, that's when you know the conversation's good, right?
Yeah. That's probably the fun part. Maybe that's why when I'm not so... you work all day and you're not so exhausted, or you're exhausted, but it's a different vibe, because you get to chat with somebody and you get to make them pretty.
Well, we all want to be pretty, right? That's like, why be here if you're not going to be pretty? So.
I know. I love lashes.
Thank you so much, Tam-lynn. It was so nice having you here today, and we had such a lovely conversation, and you actually gave our viewers a lot of like really cool like practical tips and advice, so we definitely appreciate that, and we would love to have you back. Thanks, and we hope we see you again for Lash Fest.
Yes.
Or any like lash convention.
Woo-hoo. Well, LLBA will have to have a lash fest.
Hopefully, right?
That'd be nice.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Puja.
So until next time, before I say that, I just want to let you know that we do have some of the best lash supplies at LLBAprofessional.com, so check that out. And Tam-lynn's IG, all of her information will be posted in the description, so definitely check her out. And please like, share, subscribe, comment, all of that, and please listen to us on Spotify as well. So until next time. Bye!
I felt like I was rambling half the time. I forgot your damn question.
No, you did
Bloody
so
hell.
well.
Fix that one. Fix that.
Don't worry. Oh, can you like drink from your cup? It's so cute. Oh my god, I really need one for the podcast now.